the surrounding community and you've come to say hello and visit us. Welcome. Yes, thank you. Thank you very, very much. So part of the Collaborative's stated mission is to connect and bridge individuals, groups, and organizations to dismantle racist and oppressive structures of all kinds. So we are especially delighted to have our off-campus friends join us this afternoon to help us celebrate this new initiative. Here at Southern, we dedicate ourselves to identifying and addressing systemic barriers to equity, access, and success for all members of our community. In addition to personally making every effort to treat each other with dignity, respect, kindness, compassion, and civility, we strive to educate our students and others about the values of equity, diversity, and inclusiveness. We ask members of our community to treat each other with dignity, respect, kindness, compassion, and civility. We ask members of our community to engage in the world around them, the community around them, and the issues that matter most to them. We ask everyone in this community to be allies to those who need one. We ask the members of this community to use their voices to speak out against injustice and hatred. Our commitment to diversity, equity, access, inclusion, and belonging informs and should inform our curriculum, our teaching, our learning, our scholarship, our creative activities, our co-curricular activities, residential life, community involvement, every aspect in every corner and everything we do here at the university. The Collaborative and its focus on education, research, and partnerships are going to move the needle for Southern and for the larger community across the social justice spectrum. None of our goals are achievable overnight, but we are finding ways to contribute however we can and to move forward as a community. So our celebration today reflects not just a celebration of the Collaborative's launch, but we are also celebrating another big step for Southern as we continue to grow into our social justice mission. So before you leave today, I'd like to invite you to find your connection to the Collaborative. The Collaborative can only be as successful as our community finds the work of value. Also, whatever you learn today, share it with someone in your network. We know that Southern is stronger when we are connected to each other, serving the greater New Haven community, the state of Connecticut, and beyond. And so again, I want to thank Drs. Arafay, Rutledge, and Rizza for their leadership in this regard. I ask that we give them another round of applause because really the work has been incredible. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today because what is to come is truly going to be exciting. So thank you for your commitment, thank you for your dedication, thank you for your support of this initiative, and more importantly, thank you for engaging in an ethic of care for every member of our community. It's been a difficult road throughout the course of the last 18 months. And in my State of the University address, I talked a lot about the importance of empathy. The fact that all of us have gone through so much, some more than others. We don't know what others in the room have gone through. Folks might come to work and put a smile on their face, but we don't know what folks have experienced. the pain, the loss, the sacrifice, the exhaustion. The only way that we as a community come out of this is to ensure that we come out of it together as a community, offering each other a helping hand and ensuring that each of us is taking care of the other, and that everyone in our community feels as though they belong, that they are of value, that they matter. Each of us brings something unique to this community. Each of us matters. And so with that, again, my thanks for the good work that has already happened and the work ahead. And I'd like to introduce our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Robert Rizza. Bob.
Thank you, President Bertolino, and good afternoon, everyone. And let me add my thanks to each and every one of you for being here at this really important event, this important launch. As I was sitting listening to the President, I thought for a moment that the words at the bottom of that slide, imagine, explore, partner, make change, define exactly what this collaborative is about. It's really what Southern is about. So this collaboration is intimate with exactly what we do as a university. For many years, the cutting-edge research and innovative practices that benefit the academy and all of our academic disciplines and significantly impact individuals of our community have nurtured collaborations between faculty, staff, and our community. Our faculty and staff invest their time, their talent, and their energy to a multitude of endeavors facing the state of Connecticut, our greater New Haven community, and beyond, including supporting the blue economy, evaluating inequity across social identities, evaluating new and innovative ways to provide trauma-informed care, and much, much more. Additionally, many of our faculty and staff regularly engage in hands-on service activities that directly benefit the greater New Haven community. Their commitment as scholars and as practitioners shows up in terms of work with local nonprofits and community-facing organizations, and by being invested in significant institutional initiatives. I'm exceptionally excited by the creation of the Integrated Justice and Social Change Collaborative for two reasons. First, this interdisciplinary endeavor will allow many individuals, many of you who are in the room right now, to build synergy and connections around topical areas of interest and to find new ways to create more deeply collaborative and innovative research towards equity-minded endeavors. I'm excited about how we can continue to have substantive conversations around these research experiences and build greater and greater support and recognition. Second, I'm excited for the new possibilities to help amplify and connect our faculty and staff's vast array of service activities. Our service-related work extends beyond the physical locations of our academic classrooms and departments. Our Southern community invests by serving as educational facilitators, partners, and collaborators towards and within equity-focused initiatives, again, benefiting our greater New Haven community and beyond. This work is essential. This work defines who we are. As Southern continues to work towards becoming a social justice and anti-racist university, I recognize the importance of community engagement and the power of faculty and staff involvement with this entity in collaborative and intentional ways. And I look forward to new and innovative ways the collaborative will bolster our academic and our community. I want to add my congratulations to Diane and Samson and Kelvin. Well done, really well done. Again, thank you all for being here at this inaugural event. I'll now turn the podium over to Dr. Stephen Higgins, the Dean of our College of Education, for welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Provost. Good afternoon, everyone. The College of Education's mission centers on a commitment to excellence, impact, and continuous improvement. I'm excited to offer welcome and supportive remarks to the Integrated Justice and Social Change Collaborative at Southern today. Education and the preparation of new and advanced educators, teachers, principals, counselors, librarians, superintendents are a vital part of expanding efforts surrounding diversity, equity, and inclusion within our Connecticut community and our local partners. I work with many superintendents, commissioners, and elected officials in Connecticut in the area of education. They are supportive and also often critical. There is often a need for clarity, discussion, debate, and disagreement, but also resolve. I know the importance of listening to our external communities for feedback, for perspective, and for insight towards our current practices. It's also critical to be a multi-layered voice and an understood voice in such corridors, at local boards of education at this time, when theories and frameworks developed by higher education are being discussed. We have valued our external advisors to guide our continuing improvement work and lead the challenging, hard, caring, and careful work in how we teach and how we learn. This starts at birth, through our early childhood work, where much attention to the deep inequities in our society and our systems exist, and still further legislation is necessary, and then into our middle schools, our high schools, and beyond. These early years are critical to the success of our nation, and we're very proud to have an elementary school here on our campus that we're partnering with in New Haven. For students, this has been a challenging time this past year to learn, and at times for them just wrong. For some, being online has helped. For some, particularly our very young learners in schools who might have had limited connectivity in their homes, it's been catastrophically detrimental and will be further exacerbated in our society for years to come. Teachers have had to rethink their profession and daily work routines. A well-prepared teacher is always ready for change, adaptation, continuous improvement. But that requires an inner spirit and energy and community support. We do not hide from contentious issues here at Southern in our educator preparation programs. We have intentionally developed curriculum, fostered perspectives, methods, clinical experiences, teaching practices, and frameworks and pedagogies that construct and deconstruct how we live, how we learn, and how we teach for some time. Actually 128 years. Is a culturally responsive pedagogy a band-aid without critical race theory? Is a culturally responsive pedagogy or critical race theory curriculum? We're looking at these questions, and what we're doing is to be sure that the conversation continues and is not pushed aside. Intersectionality is a critical lens and a mode to identify where power comes from and collides in educational structures, where it intersects and where it resists in teaching and learning from very early on. We need to look very carefully at such resistance and resistance to its acknowledgement at every level of our educational preparation paradigm. Birth through 3, pre-K through 12, pre-K through kindergarten, grades 1 through 6, K through 12, baccalaureate, post-baccalaureate, graduate, postgraduate. It continues and continues. Intergenerational, alternative programs, continuing ed, competency-based, badging, credentialing, stackables, non-higher education, Google, it continues on and on. Just see how we segment our teaching and learning. I'm really looking forward to providing pathways for collaboration among our faculty, our university research and service centres, and building a pipeline for engagement through an educational lens for our external constituents in this new collaborative. As the Dean of the College of Education, I am proud, thankful, and grateful to Dr. Samson Arafay from the Department of Educational Studies and Policy Studies for helping lead and co-create this new institutional body and providing leadership around this endeavour for the future. Thank you, Samson. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Diane. It's now my honour to welcome Dr. Diana Rizza, Vice President for Diversity, Equity and Inclusion. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Higgins. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes.
Again, thank you for all being here today. For those, again, who don't know me, everybody's been talking about Dr. Rizza, Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, but I am also known as Titi Diane. So let's be clear on that. And students, you know who you are. I'm very honored to be here today and to have you all with me. And I'll say this, this is very personal. I grew up in Puerto Rico in a biracial, bicultural household, a very diverse community. And when I decided to come to Southern about a year and a half ago, what was compelling for me was what President Joe and everybody has said today, are being with and in community. And I found that when I look back at my personal life, the people that have developed me along the way have been the community leaders. If I think about Harry Bonner, if I think about Sister Rosemary Turney, if I think about Vance Valerio, these are all individuals that were from the community that helped me get through my career. So a special thank you to all the community leaders here today. Even while experiencing a year and a half ago the most challenging times, I mean, imagine some of you starting a job and being, the community was virtual for me. So thinking about how to touch, how to embrace, how to reach was very difficult. And then to add to the heightened racial trauma, and particularly within our communities of color that they faced then and continue to face today. I mean, I have to say that with all of that, Southern showed up. I mean, I felt stronger than ever. I felt community was with me, close, very close. So I want to say I'm very grateful to all of you in these chairs. So privileged to be working with so many of you that are present here and are truly committed to building strong alliances and partnerships. Your contributions are enormous. However, I want to be very clear, and I say this because, Mr. Bonner, you're in my brain every single day. And that is that when we talk about community with and in, we want to be also collaborative, but also it takes time to build trust. It takes time for communities to come and join you as well. So when conceptualizing the future vision of Southern towards equity, anti-racism, justice, social change, one of the most critical factors driving the daily work is to ensure that we do not work in silos. It's easy to do that. As we move forward, how do we create our collective impact that is intentional, working together, and sharing information for the purpose of solving complex problems for the common good? How do we build synergy among all of us and recognize the importance of centralized and integrated work? You know, I think about all the work that we're doing, and you know, I get emotional about this day today because this looks real pretty around here. I mean, nice flowers on the table, but oh my gosh, it took a lot of work. Not in building this, but President Joe, Steve, Bob, and just saying, Diane, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Don't get discouraged. We're going to get there. So getting us here this far certainly is on the heels and backs of Samson and Kelvin, but there were so many people behind the scenes that just continue to just really coach us and mentor us along the way. So when we start to think about what's our next step, let's talk about creating intentional reflection and listening in our work. I mean, compassion is key, but reflection and listening in our work. Reimagine pathways for future collaborations that get beyond the program. I mean, we do a lot of good programming here, but how do we think about intentional programming that get us to the next step? How do we become flexible enough to be emergent, to listen to the community, to listen to those emergent needs of our overall spaces internally and externally? And last, how do we become hyper vigilant to building trust and lasting relationships that are mutually beneficial? Today we kick off the Integrated Justice and Social Change Collaborative and what it hopes to become. And I'm so grateful, Kelvin, Samson, for all of what you've done to get us this far. Invested in this endeavor, and we will showcase more of that in a few seconds. With that, I'm grateful again to all of you, and I turn it over to our co-directors for remarks. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kelvin Rutledge and Dr. Samson Arafay.
So good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Who's ready for the weekend? Anyone else had a very long week? It's been a lot of head nods, it's been a lot of heads. But again, thank you so much for being here in community, whether you're joining us here in the ballroom or whether you're joining us virtually online. We're really grateful for the time, energy, and effort. So for those that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Kelvin Rutledge. I use he, him as pronouns. And I have the honor to serve as one of the co-directors here for the Integrated Justice and Social Change Collaborative. As I reflect on the time, talent, and many of the individuals joined here today, I'm continually grateful for how you all show up and continue to engage with us in this process. As Dr. Rizza mentioned, our goal today is to showcase the overall structure, the strategic areas of focus we hope to engage, and the ways for you all to get involved in community with us. And so the overall vision for the IJSC Collaborative is to become an interdisciplinary hub and an umbrella for coalition building and engaged action directed at addressing and dismantling barriers to equity. We intend to think critically and analytically towards building meaningful and sustained relationships among individuals and entities and drive innovation through collaborative community. While the collaborative does not aim to replace or remove any of the established work here at Southern, our vision invites us to ask the following questions. What new partnerships could we forge by bringing multiple voices to a shared table? What partnerships and collaborations with our local community could we either establish or reignite by inviting them to a centralized conduit? In what ways can we change the future by being intentional through the blending of knowledge, action, and engagement? These questions led us to imagine a shared body with sustained impact for our university community. We aim to call in people to center their expertise and help us co-create and co-construct real, meaningful, and sustainable change. The collaborative aims to serve the Southern community and beyond in four distinct ways. First, the collaborative aims to leverage a wide range of formal and informal opportunities for both personal and professional development. The collaborative will coordinate events, programs, training sessions, convenings, and spaces to advance work within the areas of social justice, equity, culturally responsive education, pedagogy, and frameworks for social change. In our initial dreaming, we imagine a wide range of events, such as a Connecticut Community Engagement Conference, an Equity and Research Conference, and much, much more. By expanding our strategy towards collective education, we hope that we can incorporate new perspectives, conversations, and ideas towards our university community. Second, the collaborative aims to be a centralized clearinghouse for events, programs, services, and more conducted by all members of our university community regarding issues of equity, justice, and social change work. As there's a vast range of work occurring here at Southern and in the community being undertaken, the collaborative aspires to help centralize these efforts to recognize and also view our collective work. Imagine a place where you could explore dedicated programs and experiences regarding environmental justice, racial equity, or children and youth empowerment. The collaborative would help promote the existence of these items and make strategic connections moving forward. Third, the collaborative aims to help facilitate intentional collaborations and matchmaking around equity and justice partnerships. Collectively, many individuals and organizations are engaged in meaningful work within their areas of influence. A distinct component of the collaborative is thinking strategically through all of the existing linkages and bringing similar interests together to benefit us all. In practice, we hope this can lead to better sharing and usage of human and organizational resources, build shared and integrated capacity towards grant funding and applications, and leverage intentional impact of people and our communities at large. And finally, the collaborative aims to center the external community regarding our institutional work towards justice and equity. As the institution shares a goal of leveraging our capacity to do this work, it's essential to bring our local community organizations, elected officials, and much more to the table to share their ideas and perspectives. Moreover, it's essential for external voices and organizations to help keep the collaborative grounded, accountable, and actionable for the future we want to move forward. As we build these structural components, we honor that this process is emergent and that work centers on short-term and long-term approaches. As we move forward to operationalize these work areas, it's important to name that these ideas that you see on the screen and that I've shared are starting points. Our collective community efforts and prospective feedback will help shape the strategic trajectory of where this will ebb and flow. Individuals in this room and those that are joining us virtually will help us construct and guide how these structures will advance and serve us all in meaningful ways. Now that I've talked enough at you, I'd like to invite Dr. Samson Arafay, who will share with us some ways in which we plan to operationalize this work moving forward this academic year and beyond, and also to lead us through an integrative and connected activity. Samson.
I'm realizing I've lost my phone, so if anybody sees it, please let me find it. I've left it somewhere. Hi, everyone. It is really a delight to see all the people in this room, and I know that there are at least 30 to 40 people online. And so thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Kelvin, others. My name is Samson Arafay, and I'm the other co-director of this Integrated Justice and Social Change Collaborative. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here, and I see this as really a precipice of possibility. We're at the edge of a cliff of possibility. I think that President Joe, Provost Prezant, Dean Higgins, Dr. Rizza, they've all shared their ideas about this collaborative. Kelvin has told us a lot about what the collaborative intends to do and why. And I think that I'm really happy and proud that there is a realization and an awareness, a support for a need of an institutional structure that's more external facing, focused on learning from and with our community partners. And I think that's the thing that I would like to focus on today, is how do we connect? How do we connect? Really, like how do we really connect? And so I'm going to go off script for a moment and tell a story that I made up yesterday, but I think it's a good one. You tell me. There was a person standing by a bridge, and the bridge went over a long, long, deep gorge, and there were a lot of boards missing. There's no way you could cross the bridge. And another person came up and looked at the bridge, needed to get across, and said to the person standing there, "This bridge, you can't get across this bridge. I'm not going to be able to get across the bridge. How do I get across the bridge?" And this agitated person sort of ranted, raved, moved around, sat on a rock, thought, spent about a half an hour sort of thinking about how the heck was the bridge going to be crossed. And finally went to the person standing by the bridge and said, "How do you get across the bridge? Do you know how to get across the bridge?" And the person said, "Oh, well, there's a pile of boards right here." So the point is that without asking, you don't know, right? People have the answers. We have the answers, we have the resources, we have the ideas. And without asking each other, without connecting somehow, without saying, "How do I cross the bridge?" we don't get there. We can't get there. And people know where the boards are. So how did my story go? I'll be talking a little bit about some of the initial activities that we've planned, and then, like Kelvin said, just a small exercise that is non-threatening, I hope, and it's it's low level. I do want to say that I'm looking around the room, and I just have to thank all of the people that are here, and I'm excited to see so much support as this initiative unfolds. I look at us, we have so many different talents and experiences, and we are doing equity and justice work in so many different ways. And, you know, as we've said, what are the synergies that exist here? What are the possibilities? How do we connect to find out what it is that we can do? I think this is the real work of the IJSC Collaborative, which is what we're trying to call it, that we are going to try and find out what these synergies are, all of us together with the help of one another. And in some ways, I guess it's a field of dreams, right? We are building it. And based on the attendance here, it looks like people are starting to come. And that is really, really exciting. I just have to thank our leaders. I have to thank the too many people to name, who have provided all kinds of wonderful guidance and advice. They've been so supportive. I want to thank actually the Adante Center folks, our Integrated Communications and Management team, who's provided the food, and also our custodial, security, facility, and grounds staff, who really make this place what it is. And I think it's really important to realize, as President Joe said, every one of us matters. Every one of us matters here, and that is what matters to me. So here we are, look around. Here we are, beginning our field of dreams. So, we are going to focus on 3 areas: partnerships, research, and education. And as you know, there are many community and other types of organizations in New Haven and beyond that are committed to dismantling inequity based on race, gender, environment, immigration, incarceration, food, health, and more. And so what we are going to do is first make the IJSC Collaborative Network. And this is going to be a web-based forum where people and organizations can connect and learn more about each other, and then move to interpersonal meetings and hopefully strong, solid partnerships. And we'll be doing some matchmaking as part of that. Eventually, as Kelvin said, we hope to be able to provide a clearinghouse of events and resources. And so to begin, we want to gather skills, interest, contact information, so we can identify these synergies and various human and organizational resources. And if you all can see, there's a card in the middle of your table, a couple of cards, and in there, if you have any ideas, it would be wonderful to write down something that you would like to share, whether it's a person or a thought, and give us contact information so we can contact you and follow up on that. The second area of focus will be research, and the research is interdisciplinary, interorganizational, interinstitutional, aimed at substantive policy and practice change. And there's, of course, a great deal of research underway, but I'm very eager, we are eager to see what will come out of these new innovative partnerships. Education is our third area of focus, and we define education broadly. There's much that we can and we must learn from each other. And so the collaborative will facilitate formal and informal learning opportunities that are offered here at Southern and also by our community partners. We hope to host them in the community and here at Southern. All kinds, and I won't list, Kelvin made a list of all the kinds of events that we're thinking about. Something that we're working on now and that we envision are listening circles. Incubator spaces for small groups of individuals with common interests like research, equity programming, policy-oriented advocacy, activism, artistic expression, all kinds of things. Listening circles. It'll be up to you. If you say, I would like a listening circle on X, we'll try to make a listening circle on X and find out who might join you. Lastly, we are excited to share that we've officially just founded a Journal of Collaboration for Equitable Change. And this will provide one way to disseminate our collective knowledge and scholarship, as well as call in others that are doing this work from all around the world. So we hope that we can amplify the good work that we're doing here in New Haven, here at Southern, here in Connecticut, and to encourage change elsewhere. So these are just points of departure. We are experiencing substantial social, cultural, economic, environmental, and technological change. And I can't say how strongly I feel this. We need very, 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 very new approaches to dismantle the inequity that continues right now, that is emerging, and unfortunately, the inequity that is yet to be. I feel so strongly about that. And so we have to work together to figure out how we do that. And we have to be really innovative. So the main act is that we all have to connect. And I think that more and more we don't know how to do this. I was in the airport and everybody was on their phones. I was in the airplane. I don't think I saw anybody talking to anyone. They were just all in their phones. And then we have, so much political unrest. People can't talk across an aisle. We don't know how to have constructive discussion. So I was thinking about neural networks, neural plasticity, and the idea that we can change, actually, our physiology. We can change our neural networks by reaction to stimulus, to learning. And so I believe that our human networks also can be changed by stimulus and learning. But it's a matter of doing something and practicing it. And that's where this little exercise comes in today. So I'm hoping that you all will be game. Will you be game? Will you help us? Okay. It just requires thinking for a moment and sharing what you thought with another person. And so I also invite those of us that are online to think and share in the chat if you'd like to. In the future, actually, we'll have a space for virtual collaboration, and we'll be thinking more about how that occurs, because that's really important now. We are more and more in hybrid spaces. Okay, so here are the instructions, I think. So everybody take a moment. You can close your eyes if you want to, and just think about everyone in this room. Think about yourself. Think about your networks, your values. Why did you come here? What was your intention? Why are you here? Just think about that for a moment. Does everybody have something? Just raise your hand if you don't have something yet. Okay, that's great. So now, if those of you who are willing and able, if you would like to get up and just try and find somebody that you don't know, and just say for 3 minutes what it is that you came up with, I think that would be one of the first ways that we could connect across our individual silos, right? And I know it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But just do me a favor and just try to do that. Try to find somebody you don't know, or try to find somebody that you know not as well so much in your area, okay? So just, do you mind doing that? Just stand up and do it. Thank you so much, because this is the neural network. This is the human network changing. So about 3 minutes each.
Hey, Kelvin. We kind of know each other, but not too well. I know you're very small. But what is your intention for outlook? So you look like that's actually well put. That's really good. And so I don't need to go into since Joe, you know, we take people around the university, take that graduate class, Kathy was there, so I did that, and that was great. And then I've been a part of all these things. Good. Thank you very Well, while you're talking, I'll also just talk for a moment, okay? So I am excited to see you talking with one another, and I hope that you did have a chance to speak with someone that you didn't know, and to just make a very small connection. It's really a small thing that we all have to learn how to do. And I hope that you will either stay here for a little while and talk with people that are here to connect, and do connect, and also to just take the same spirit and be brave and work at talking with people that you don't know more and more, and seeing just how do I connect, how do I understand more about the people around me, and how can they learn more about me and the work and the person that I am, the work that I want to do. So that's it for me. I want to thank you so much for engaging in that exercise, and we look forward to what you're going to bring with us and what we'll bring to you through this collaborative. I'm handing it over to Kelvin.
All right, good people. So we recognize that we've crossed the 2 o'clock hour, so we want to make sure that we kind of begin to wrap up. So again, thank you so much for being present, whether here in person or joining us virtually live. We really appreciate that. Just to kind of close us out, all individuals who shared their RSVP with us should be on the lookout for a follow-up communication from us as the collaborative. In that email, we're going to talk about next steps, opportunities for listening circles, and more opportunities in 2022 that you can look forward to in terms of engagement. Of course, as Samson has mentioned, this event couldn't have been possible with the many parties here at Southern to really facilitate this experience, and so we're indubitably very grateful for that. Our future is bright. We look forward to the future of building and collaborating together. So with that, take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful